I'm gonna make this video mainly like 10, maybe even 12, maybe even 15 minutes long for people who are around the age of, 16 to like maybe 28. There's a good question that I ask myself almost every other day, and I look at myself in the mirror and I say, damn, am I really that ugly? I am now the age of, a young adult, and I am now 24 years old, and I will be about 25 in 7 months in 2026. Every person that I have known is around my age now, and the people that I've grown closest since high school have normally been around the same age as me and have been with me since then. But I'm starting to notice a recent trend in, on the internet where people trying to gatekeep certain, activities and such as video games, movies, anime, TV shows, stuff like that. And just because they're trying to gatekeep the fact of you being an adult watching all this stuff and reading it, or playing video games. And before I was even called unk status, or the term unk was even made before fact checked, so deep down I remember one time where I was maybe 16 or 17 and freshman or sophomore year of high school. I was talking to one of my friends about X-Men because I was a massive fan of X-Men, and for my longtime viewers, they would know that I am a massive fan of Marvel and DC and all these other comic book characters and games that I like. I was basically talking to my friend about X-Men, and this dude just goes, grown-ass man talking about X-Men, by the way. First of all, I'm not even maybe 18, even 19 at this point, so I was just still trying to figure my shit out. Still am to this very day. Every time I got made fun of for something, whether it be Spider-Man, whether it be Dragon Ball, whether it be, Naruto, or it starts to get to a point where you start asking these people, what am I really supposed to talk about at my age? Everybody expects you to have the knowledge of fucking Master Roshi when you hit age 18. That's just not how it works. I basically asked this dude saying, what are you gonna be when you grow up? What are you gonna do on your spare time? And he went, I don't fucking know. Politics, taxes, and working at a job or some bullshit. And I just went, man, you're really gonna have a boring life, aren't you? There comes to a certain point where not even people my age, people even on the internet say that you're unk just because you be liking all the certain things that you love. There's people out there that even like Legos, and people even still get made fun of for that, bro. I know a friend who recently got a Lego One Piece set, and she loves One Piece, and it's one of her favorite anime / mangas of all time, and she's one of the closest people I know that really loves building Legos. So, I mean, the woman's 24, at least. It is not that hard to entertain her, at all. Just because you reach a certain age doesn't mean you have to start hating the world and getting a job, When you get to a certain point in your 20s, you gotta figure out what you need to do, and all these high expectations that people bring, it's not even that realistic to begin with. It's just it doesn't add up. You're telling me I gotta be a multi-millionaire, own 2 cars, and have a wife and kids at the age of 26. That's not gonna be happening, bro. If it makes you better for anybody out there, there are people my age that already have kids, and I know a few people out there. You know who you are. Friends of mine who are just, starting to have kids, or there's people that are my age just trying to have fun and experience, life like usual. And for me, people think I don't really have a lot of experience just because I've been sitting in this room for a long time. I moved out of the Midwest, 2,000 miles away from the country to get to California in a camper, and I lived in a campground in the middle of, a beach, and it was probably one of the craziest experiences I've ever had in my entire life as a teenager / young adult. How often do people say that they take their whole family across the United States and literally take them to the Golden State, which is California? That never fucking happens, And I was very lucky to be one of those people that at least got to experience in traveling to all these other states, and going to Las Vegas, going to Kansas City, going to New Mexico, all these other places that I got to see, and it was just, I can't even describe it, bro. It was just once in a lifetime thing. For my longtime viewers, they would know that I have lived in the Midwest my whole life, but I've never grew up in California. You may think I look like I'm from California, but deep down I am just a white biscuit that lived in the middle of the woods. So I guess there's that, you know? My lesson is for people who are like the age of like 18 to like, you know, 28, I would just start saying that like have fun. Your 20s are where the years start to count. A lot of people start to, you know, set really high expectations for you, like very unrealistic high expectations with all this other shit that they be doing though. Just because I am at a certain age in my life doesn't mean I have to like start throwing hoops like I'm LeBron James and got drafted in the NBA first pick, you know? So either way, your life is your own choices, your own actions, everything. You get to decide for yourself when you get older. Most people my age don't even have a house or even a car yet. Like deep down they do gotta work for it, but you don't gotta work for the rest of your life depending on how long it goes for. Now, I wanna set something kind of realistic and put like a fictional, like, you know, thing for like people who are in their 20s. Monkey D. Luffy, at 19 years old, became the youngest pirate imaginable to become one of the 4 emperors of the sea after defeating one of the 2 biggest emperors. He took a total shift on the world's viewpoint. That's crazy of itself, but here's another one, which is ancient history, by the way. Alexander the Great conquered a shit ton of countries at the age of 30. My 2 brothers are at least 23 and 27. I don't go up to those 2 motherfuckers and call them broke bums just because they haven't conquered a kingdom or a country yet. Like, that's just not how it works. Don't ever listen to those people. Like, you are not a failure. You are not sad. You are not alone. You are a normal human being with common sense, and these are people that set really high expectations and don't understand how the real world works. I just don't get it why people do this. And I think they need to start realizing that your 20s is where you have to have the most fun, no matter what way you put it. And matter of fact, it doesn't even matter how old you are even in your 20s. Like, I could still be 56, maybe even 70, and still be playing Fortnite with my homies, bro. It's that simple. You're never too old to have fun, you know? It's like, deep down, that's the lesson I think a lot of people need to learn. People always got to find a way to, you know, shit on people's expectations for something they want to do for their life, and deep down, if that's the thing they want to go do, let them do it, because you are setting them very high expectations that don't even exist in the first place. That's just how I feel about it. So have fun. F-U-N. F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. N is for anywhere, anytime at all, down here in the deep blue sea. I can't believe I had to quote a SpongeBob song for y'all to understand this. God damn, we have been watching SpongeBob our whole lives, and we literally haven't learned this lesson even in our 20s, or even how old we get. Like, bro, I'ma just leave it there. Let me know how y'all feel about this, because anybody who thinks that way, don't listen to them, because genuinely, your life is your own choice, and everything you get to do is for yourself, and have fun. So anyways, that's about it. See ya.